Today we are going to have a discussion on cyber information digital security as a career option. With us is today a very esteemed guest and an expert, I would rather say almost an authority on the subject. Our guest for today is Captain Ashok B. Shirur, served with the Air Defense for 5 years. Then after that, he has been in the information security, cyber security, digital security industry for now almost 3 decades. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own business by the name of Micros, and his firm specializes in these aspects. It won't be too big an exaggeration to say that Captain Shiru is one of the pioneers of information security, and he got into that business when people have not even heard of this. So today we are going to gain his wisdom on the changing aspects and what exactly we'll broadly touch upon as to how the industry is. Thank you so much for your time today and agreeing to join us, sir. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, good evening and thank you.
Sir, my opening question to you would be, now that since everything is getting digitized and almost, rather to say, there's hardly anyone who is not connected on the World Wide Web, everything is digitized, there's Internet of Things, etc., etc. So where do you see the volume and scope of digital security, cyber security, information security, especially as a business functional role?
As a business functional role, it is expected to expand significantly due to the increasing digitization of processes, of services, and of the information itself. As organizations continue to leverage digital technologies for efficiency, for innovation, and for connectivity, the importance of securing the digital assets becomes paramount. And if I were to highlight some of the key drivers or the key considerations, I can enumerate them. For example, digital transformation. Now, this trend of digital transformation involves integration of digital technologies and all other aspects of business operations. So this would be compute, IoT, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, etc., etc. So with that expanding digital footprint, the need for a robust cybersecurity measures to protect sensitive data and critical systems becomes even more critical. Then if you on an ongoing basis see the number of rising cyber threats, the frequency and the sophistication of threats is on the rise. Cyber criminals continuously evolve their tactics. The potential impact to cyber attacks on organizations has grown phenomenally. The dynamic threat landscape necessitates a proactive and an adaptive approach to cybersecurity, driving this demand for skilled professionals in that field. Then the data privacy concerns. So there is this new 2023 Act that has come out, the DPDP, which heightens the awareness and regulatory requirements of data privacy and the growing importance of information security. So organizations under increased pressure to safeguard customer and personal data and comply with the data protection regulations, such as, if it is from a European parlance, it is GDPR, or then the CCPA, and now the DPDP in India. So digital security professionals play a crucial role in ensuring compliance and mitigating the privacy concerns. Then the remote work challenges. With COVID, most organizations move to a remote work or a work from home kind of an environment. So this shift has introduced new challenges, for securing digital assets. So organization must secure endpoints, manage the access controls, and implement secure collaboration tools to address the cybersecurity implications of a dispersed workforce. No longer is it that the person is coming into the organization and working in a controlled environment. Now he's working from home, working from a personal device, but accessing critical infrastructure of the organization. Then the supply chain security. Now, one of the key developments, recent developments in the security and the attack surface has become the supply chain. This means that if, for example, there is an organization that is working as an outsourced vendor in a larger organization, and if that small organization within the large organization gets compromised, the larger organization, by virtue of the smaller organization getting compromised, also gets compromised. There was a recent attack called the SolarWinds attack, where the attacker used the SolarWinds tool, which is deployed in most large organizations for network monitoring and management, to cause the attack, to facilitate the attack. So supply chain security becomes a paramount. Then new technology, the emerging technologies, whether it is things like blockchain, 5G, artificial intelligence, edge computing, machine learning. So each of these new technologies are going to throw up their own respective security considerations. So digital security professionals are needed to assess the risk associated with these technologies and implement effective security measures. Then there is a marked increase in the investment in cybersecurity because of the organization's priority moving to information security, because this becomes an area where reputation has to be managed. If an organization is a target for an attack, they lose reputation. Their market share shrinks, their share prices reduce. So there is a heightened investment into information security to ensure that the public posture is maintained. So again, that drives the need for security professionals. Then there is board level involvement. Now, if you see the DPDP or if you see the GDPR Act, the penalties are stringent, the fines are stringent, and the management is hauled up, the management is made responsible. So board level involvement has increased. And when business or executive looks at the implications of cyber attacks or information security outages, the paradigm shifts and again drives up the need for cybersecurity professionals. Today, I can actually say that cybersecurity correctly implemented in an organization becomes a competitive advantage in a very, very competitive environment. So if one organization gets hit and the other organization has a good security practice which prevents it from getting hit, that becomes a competitive advantage. And I mean, a very simple justification for the increased demand is the shortage of skills. There is a significant shortage of skills, and there is enough and more data available in industry to say that what is the demand and what is the actual supply, especially for quality skilled manpower. So there is no dearth of demand.
Okay. Sir, further on to this itself, if you could briefly touch upon the tasks which officer transitioning from uniform to cybersecurity is expected to perform. I mean, what kind of assets are they protecting?
Cybersecurity or information security professionals, they play a very critical role in safeguarding an organization's digital assets, ensuring CIA. So CIA basically is a term which expands to confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. So that's like the bedrock principle of information security. So their tasks and responsibilities can vary based on the organization size, the specific security needs, the business processes. And if I were to very generally enumerate them, they would be so. So risk management and assessment, evaluating the risks of an organization, of an application, identifying and assessing the potential security risks and vulnerabilities, develop strategies to mitigate and manage these risks. Then it would be security policy development, enforcement of security policy. Then it would be network security. So again, implement and manage maybe firewalls or perimeter security devices, intrusion detection, prevention solutions, or any other network security measures that would facilitate monitoring of traffic and identify signs of any kind of a malicious activity. Then there would be endpoint security. So endpoint security would be securing the end devices, the desktops, the laptops, the BYOD devices against different kinds of malware and other unauthorized access. Then implement, and manage anti-malware tools, manage encryption solutions, manage endpoint protection solutions, manage multi-factor authentication solutions. Then there would be IR, that is incident response and management. So assuming that an actual incident happened, an incident occurred, developing and implementing the incident response plans so that when there is a problem, it doesn't turn into chaos. Everyone, the incident response team is defined, the roles of the team are defined, everyone knows what they are supposed to do in the case of an incident and how to recover from that situation. And things like security awareness training. So training becomes a very key area of work for security professionals because of the lack of awareness in the users. One of the well-known challenges in information security is that the user becomes the weakest link in the entire chain. So if the user is not correctly aware, or if he's not continually trained or educated, there is a significant possibility of he becoming the reason why a security breach happened. Then access control, defining meticulously evaluated access control mechanisms to ensure that the various digital assets in the organization are accessible only on a need to know basis to those people who need to have access to it. Then the data protection and the privacy, what are the processes, the policies, what are the tools, what are the policies that need to be deployed in order to ensure that data protection and privacy is maintained from the organization's perspective. Then there would be security auditing and monitoring, auditing the policies, evaluating whether they are correctly implemented, whether they are working correctly, whether they are not causing an impediment to day-to-day business processes, things like that. Then a constant review of security architecture, evaluating whether the security components are in place, whether they are correctly set up, correctly configured, whether anything additionally needs to be done, whether they need to be upgraded, whether the sizing needs to be evaluated, etc., etc. So this would be in very broad terms of what all an information security professional would need to do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. So now this was actually a very huge list of tasks and assets. Things which an officer could be looking at doing. If you were to touch upon step by step a brief plan for someone who wishes to be in the cybersecurity role after uniform services, could you just give me a step-by-step structure that do this, so that I can transition into cybersecurity or info security?
So I guess the most important, there would be three most important steps that any officer would need to take. Number one is keep abreast with what's happening in the industry. Attend conferences, attend workshops, attend webinars, attend online sessions, do a lot of peer review, peer discussion. Ensure that you are not restricted by the present exposure to air-gapped networks. Presently, in the Army, Navy, Air Force, typically most networks are air-gapped. So most officers who are there in the information security space don't have the relevance of networks which are public-facing or which are internet-enabled. So they are not able to relate to the possible challenges that an organization can face once they come out. So it's critical to stay abreast with the latest happenings in the industry, the latest developments in the industry, what is available, what addresses what kind of situation, which kind of a permutation, which kind of a use case get addressed, how. So that's a constant, maybe a self-education, to say it in that manner. Second is networking. It's very critical in today's day and age to maintain a very, very strong network of professionals, whether it is within the armed forces, whether it is outside, maybe ex-service officers, or whether it is corporate enterprise people. Networking gets you a long way in the market. It gives you exposure. It gives you a word-of-mouth reputation. It gives you avenues. It gives you openings. It gives you opportunities. So networking is important. But the most important thing that I would suggest is putting pen to paper. Actually putting down what it is that you want to do, what it is that you will do to get what you want to do, how will you go about doing what you require, and what are the dependencies, what are the people, or what are the things that will help you in getting there. So I guess these would be the three top things I would suggest.
So thank you so much for your time. I'm sure the audience has gained a lot from basic understanding of the cybersecurity roles. I'm very grateful for your time, sir.